Hey guys, today we're taking a look at my Majestic Dragon deck. Now this deck is basically just based on bringing out Majestic Star Dragon, which is a very powerful synchro monster that has some interesting effects that I'll talk about in the extra deck. I think this deck is more of a fun deck just because the consistency of bringing out the dragon is it's rough. It's not too reliable to bring it out. It is very powerful, but it also goes back to the extra deck. There are a lot of interesting things you could do to bring it out and keep it out, but again, the consistency is the main issue. I still think it's really fun and really cool in order to bring this card out, and it's kind of surprising because you don't really get to see it very often. So getting right into the cards, first off we're going to be running one Blackluster Soldier. We do have a lot of light in this deck, and we do have a good amount of dark, so I think it's definitely a good choice for this deck type. We also have two Boost Warriors helping us get out a level 1. To get out Majestic Star Dragon we need Stardust Dragon, Majestic Dragon, and a level 1, so Boost Warrior is a really good thing for this because we can just special summon it with a tuner. We also have Genex ally Birdman, really nice level 3 that we can make good plays with. 3 Kinka-Byo, I think this card's very useful in this deck because once Majestic Dragon's in the graveyard, you can just bring it back and you can get out Stardust or Majestic Star Dragon really easily. We're also running 2 Krebons. Obviously, you can get special summoned by emergency teleport. We can do additional plays with this to bring out 8 stars. We also have plays we can do to bring out 7 stars, so definitely a good card, and also has a nice effect to stall for a little bit. And then 3 Majestic Dragon just used to bring out Majestic Star Dragon. 3 Psychic Commander, also a very good card and helps us with our Synchro kind of build. Solar Windjammer, 3 of these, again helping us a lot in order to bring out our Synchros. Then we have 1 Cards of Consonance, just helping us dump one of the Majestic Dragons. You can run more than 1 if you want. I think 1 is definitely fine. Majestic Dragon can do a lot of good stuff from being in the graveyard, so I definitely like having that. 1 Dark Hole, 3 Emergency Teleports, bringing out Krebons or Psychic Commander, which is really nice. 1 Foolish Burial can be very nice to get, like Majestic Dragon in the graveyard, so we could do Kinka-Byo, we could do other plays depending on our setup. 2 Instant Fusion, again helping us with our Synchro. We also can do XYZ plays with this with Solar Windjammer, so that's pretty nice. 2 MST, 1 for 1, a staple in a Majestic Dragon deck because you can easily bring out one of your level 1s or Majestic Dragon depending on what you need. And also 2 Soul Charge, obviously to make our Synchro plays again to bring back things that we need. For the traps, we're pretty much going to be running staple traps. We're going to be running 2 Skill Drain because Skill Drain has a really powerful combination with Majestic Star Dragon. Majestic Star Dragon has to go back to the extra deck, but with Skill Drain, it keeps it from going back to the extra deck. So when we have Skill Drain on the field, your opponent's going to not really have a lot of things it can do in order to deal with Majestic Star Dragon because it can still tribute itself to activate its effect, but it also won't go back to the extra deck. So Majestic Star Dragon and Skill Drain create a very powerful, almost like a lock. It's really crazy, so I really like having those 2 cards together in this deck. So now for the extra deck, we're going to be running 2 level 5 fusions, Ojama Knight and Reaper on the Nightmare. 2 very useful ones, light and dark, depending on which one you need for the XYZ or for the Blackluster Soldier or whatever you're currently doing. 1 Black Rose Dragon, in case, with Krebons we can make that. For the 8 stars, 1 Crimson Blader, 1 Scrap Dragon, and 2 Stardust Dragon, obviously in this deck makes a lot of sense. 1 Star Eater, in case we do have Stardust and we're not doing Majestic, we could bring this out. And also 2 Majestic Star Dragon. Basically, he just negates, whatever. And he also can destroy all the opponent's cards when he does that. So it keeps your opponent from doing anything, but he also has to go back to the extra deck, which is kind of annoying. If he does get destroyed, you will have other plays to bring him back out, which can be really nice. And then for the XYZs, we're going to be running 1 Constellar Pleiades, 1 Volcasaurus. With the level 5s, Pleiades is always a very powerful card if you can get him out with your light monsters. 1 Zenmaines in case we bring out like 2 Psychic Commanders or something like that. I'm still debating keeping this in because of how situational that is, but definitely nice to have. 1 Slacker Magician, 1 Dullahan. You could bring in other level 1s if you want. We do have a lot of level 1s in this deck, so I'm thinking about other ones to add in depending on my extra deck. I had a pretty tough time cutting down my extra deck because there's so many things I wanted to put in the extra deck that I'll talk about in the side deck a little bit. But yeah, I just tried to go with what I thought was necessary. But you could still put in more level 1s and more other stuff that I'll talk about in a second. So now for the side deck, if you haven't seen a video of mine before, in the side deck I kind of just talk about recommended cards or other ideas I'm thinking about for the deck. Not meant to be a side deck for matches. These are other recommendations that you guys can think about adding to your deck, maybe if you're making this deck for your own. Blackwing Gale, another level 3 tuner that can be a very useful, very powerful card in the right situation. Cyber Dragon, another alternative to Solar Windjammer, just a more offensive variation. Debris Dragon has a lot of really interesting combinations it can make with this deck. There's a lot of plays, but they require a lot of specific card combos, so that can be an interesting one. Junk Synchron can also make a lot of really interesting plays with this deck because you're able to summon out Majestic Dragon, so you can do a lot of really interesting plays with that. So I'm definitely thinking about maybe running this in the future. Stardust Xiaolong, this card is designed to bring out Majestic Star Dragon, but because of it requiring to be in the graveyard and because of how useless it is without that, I took it out. I was, experimenting with it, and I could still see the power of it depending. Summoner Monk, if you want to run a variation, you could run the level 4 variation to bring out, Stardust Dragon that way. That's just another way to synchro summon. Trueburn Frog, if you're not running back row, you can use this to easily always have a card to go along with Majestic Dragon, which is nice. Book of Moon, obviously a good card overall. You can use it to flip Majestic Star Dragon so it won't go back to the extra deck. Ectoplasma, another card that you can keep Majestic Star Dragon from going back to the extra deck. You can just tribute it, which is nice. Forbidden Chalice, Forbidden Lance both have different kind of things you can do in this deck. Obviously, Chalice can help you, again, keeping it from bouncing to the extra deck. Starlight Road, obviously summoning out Stardust Dragon is very important for this deck, so Starlight Road could be a nice card to have. Catastor Armory Arm, depending on our levels, depending on what's going on, this could be good to have. It's tough because you can use these cards, but you won't have room for a lot of the other cards that I thought were also necessary for this deck. But you'll run into situations where you would love to be able to summon these guys and you can't because obviously they're not in my extra deck. So it's up to you. And these are, some of the cards I was talking about when I was thinking about my extra deck, and it was really tough to have to take these guys out. And like I was saying, other level ones, Utopia Roots is a really nice one that I like. Lionheart or whatever, also a nice one if you can get out 3 level ones. So there's a bunch of them out there if you want to run. There's a bunch of other cards I haven't mentioned, like you could run this with Assault Mode and like a level 4 variant in case you want an alternate boss, because Stardust Assault Mode is very, very powerful. So that's, another card. There's a ton of other variations and combos out there, but I'm just going with, what I think is best for my deck. So that's my Majestic Dragon deck. Again, just focused on bringing out Majestic Star Dragon. A fun deck to play. Again, the consistency can be somewhat of an issue because of the limited amount of support. There are a lot of card combos, but they all require a lot of cards to make work. But I'm definitely interested in seeing what you guys think. Maybe you guys have some ideas for me that I can use in my own deck to bring these guys out or to keep them out. I'd definitely love to hear that. But that's about it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.